First and foremost, let me congratulate each and every one getting a degree today. To arrive at this great morning, one of the most significant milestones of your life, I know each of you had to overcome a number of challenges, academic challenges, emotional, financial, personal health challenges. I do not know, and most people will never know, exactly what problems you faced down, but we know that you got through it, even though there may have been times when you thought the challenges might get the best of you. Your degree today is proof that you could make it through many more challenges in the years ahead. And I know that this was tough for some of you. My father, who was an inspector, he retired as an inspector at the NYPD, Edward J. Lewis, went to John Jay College while working full-time as a New York City police officer and raising 5 kids. And like many of you, he was the first in our family to graduate from college. It took him over 10 years. Graduates, as of today, you are joining a long line, an ancient line of learned men and women. I know that some of you are going to party tonight. I've heard that in some cases there may be alcohol involved. Some of you I know have vape pens, you do what you do. But however you plan to celebrate, you should know that tomorrow morning you're going to have to figure out what comes next. And if you want to make the most of that achievement, you want to figure out what your ultimate destination is. It is a big and scary question, but there is no getting around it. As you know, when you go to the airport, the first question that they ask you is, where are you going? You can't get to the gate, you can't get on the plane, you can't find out the price of the journey. In fact, they will not even sell you a ticket until you let folks know where you are heading. Nothing happens until you decide on a destination and tell somebody about it. And your career and much of your life will be the same way. You have to figure out where you want to go and not be afraid to tell people where you are headed. And of course, that raises the scary question, where should I go? And here's one way that you could think about it. Ask yourself the question, what great thing would I attempt if I knew I could not fail? It's a very good question. What would you attempt to do if you knew that you could not fail? And when you can answer that, then you have figured out where you should be going. And to all of the parents who are here, your job is to help them get to that destination. You get to celebrate today, and I know you get to brag about your kid to all of your neighbors and your relatives and the guy at the deli and the ladies at the beauty parlor and the people at the dry cleaners, and I know you're going to bore them all to death bragging about your kid, and you should. My son, Noah Lewis, class of 2027 at Cornell, is right here. I could bore you all day talking about this man. But understand that your children will continue to need you. They may be heading someplace that you've never gone. It might not be the place that you would have chosen for them, but help them anyway. Whatever you've done up to this point obviously is working. So you should do more of that or fix whatever things didn't work. Your kids will need you, and your success, of course, is theirs. Their story is an extension of yours, and your continued help will remind them of their roots, help them understand where they came from, and understand that there is this reciprocal obligation that Brent Staples was just talking about. From us to our ancestors, from our ancestors to us. It is the glue that holds us all together. In 1965, 1966, I had a very special year. I was about to turn 4 years old, and that year my 3 older sisters were off in grade school, and my younger brother had not been born yet, and my dad was usually at work. And so that left my mom and me alone at our apartment 4E at 3250 Broadway in the Manhattanville houses. And sometimes we would walk to the library on 125th Street or take a trip to the corner store, but what I remember most are the times that we stayed home and watched the space program unfold on our black and white television. This was the year of the Gemini mission, when the government sent a pair of astronauts into orbit every few weeks, working out the problems and procedures that had to be mastered in order to reach the ultimate goal of landing a man on the moon. So my mother and I watched every mission from liftoff to splashdown, learning all about Titan rocket boosters and spacewalks and gantries and docking maneuvers. And when strangers and relatives remarked that she had a preschooler who was using all of these big words, talking about spacesuits and orbits and everything, my mother said I was naturally curious, but that actually wasn't even the half of it. She was the one who really wanted to know. My mother was a voracious learner. She was the finest teacher I ever had. And over the course of more than 40 years in journalism, I have interviewed senators and governors and inventors and billionaires and Nobel Prize winners and certified geniuses, but none of them will ever match, in my mind, the brilliant woman who showed me before my first day of kindergarten and long after that literally the sky is the limit. My parents are no longer with us, but I hear their thoughts and their voices every day. They would have loved to see this morning. So class of 2025, let me tell you what my mother told me 1,000 different ways. You really do have to dream, and when you dream, you have to dream big. Do yourself a favor, make your destination someplace grand. Make it someplace exciting. Picture yourself doing the greatest thing in the world, whatever that might be for you, and make that your destination. That might mean climbing up the ranks of a big four accounting firm, or maybe you want to strike out and start a tech business. You might want to be the administrator of a great arts organization. You might want to be a psychologist or a musician or help people every day. You might want to head for Wall Street or into public service. I know some of you have majored in journalism. I might see you at the Graduate School of Journalism or in my newsroom someday. But here is the main point. Whatever you pick as your destination, make sure it means something to you. Not to me, not to your parents, not to your friends, but to yourself. You may have heard the story of the man who was traveling through a town. He came across 3 stonemasons who were chipping granite out of large blocks. Back-breaking, dirty work. So the first stonemason seems unhappy and even angry about his work. He stops every few minutes to look at his watch, and the traveler asks, "What are you doing?" The stonemason says, "I'm hammering this stupid rock like I do every day. I can't wait till it's 5 o'clock so I can go home." Next to him is the second stone cutter. He's hammering away at his rocks. He also looks unhappy, not angry, but sad. And so the traveler asks, "What are you doing?" And the man says, "I'm building blocks to fit with the other blocks and create a wall. I'd rather be doing something else, but I have a family to feed and I need the money." And so the traveler sees a third stonemason who is humming and singing and smiling and laughing as he cuts the stones. And when the traveler asks what he's doing, he raises his eyes up to the sky and says, "I am building a cathedral." 3 people, 3 different attitudes, all doing the same job. Which of them is a success? Which is having a successful career? Which is having a successful life? And which of them will you be? Are you just looking for a paycheck, or do you want to build a cathedral? My advice would be not to spend too much of your time at a job that you don't like or doing work that doesn't mean anything to you. Every day is not going to be joyous. There's a reason that they call it work. But if there's no fun in it at all, and there's no personal satisfaction on too many days, you may need a different path to your destination. You may need to change your plans. And don't be afraid to set a new course. You are meant to soar. So, class of 2025, I hope you will always remember this wonderful morning and how it feels. I hope all of your best dreams come true. I hope your burdens are light and your journeys are joyous. And please, let today be one of many, many more times that your name is called in honor and appreciation. Best of luck to all of you.
I dedicate this speech to my family. my dad, Elliot, my sister, Karina, my brother, Jared, but especially my mom. I was named after the poet Khalil Gibran. My bylines always include my middle name, Caroline. And it's because every byline echoes the women who taught me to find my voice. My first writing coach, the most fearless person and greatest storyteller I've ever known, my mom, Carolyn. My family's unwavering support from my earliest years have carried me to this moment. I gave my first commencement speech in 5th grade, back when the auditorium smelled like Elmer's glue and tater tots. But now, in the audience, there's a few Emmy Award winners and some really impressive bylines. So to finally address the question everyone keeps asking me, are you scared? Yes, I am. I'm terrified. But for me, fear never came from moments like this. Fear came from everything it took to stand here at all. Fear crept in when deciding to leave a comfortable corporate job and choose a life, a career of uncertainty, intentionally. Fear followed me into my first broadcast news package, whispering to myself between stand-up takes and interviews, please, don't let my voice shake this time. And fear washed over me when stepping out of a van to report in a rural Armenian village, still feeling the aftershock from decades of border conflict. As we walked toward a nearby forest, a man in the distance came running toward us, shouting, "Stop. Do not go that way. There are landmines." I stood frozen, questioning all of my life choices. The villager who warned us told us about his life living among the landmines, a story echoed by nearly every person we spoke to that day. Generations of loss and grief were there, but so was profound resilience and optimism. And sitting there with them in their homes, just listening, I felt more called than ever before to do this work. I began to understand. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is staying long enough to hear the story anyway. And yet, my greatest fears weren't in Armenia, and they weren't in the classroom. And speaking to each of you during one world-altering event after another, I realized the biggest fears I carry, we all seem to share. Our greatest fears emerged when we saw what was happening to our colleagues. Journalists laid off, sued, silenced, doxxed, exiled, imprisoned, killed. If the First Amendment is under attack, if we are under attack, how do we keep choosing journalism when the cost feels so high? How do we overcome fear? Do it scared. Ida B. Wells, one of the earliest Black voices to investigate lynchings following the Civil War, wrote, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon them." Wells didn't report because she felt fearless. She reported because the cost of silence was too steep. We are graduating into a moment that feels fragile, but fragility is not a warning. It is an invitation. We stand on the edge of a profession that is being tested, questioned, and reshaped in real time. And that means we stand on the precipice of possibility. If truthful, free, and fair public information is under attack, then we are the ones who will armor it. If this moment feels unstable, then we are being called to build something new. And if journalism is dying, then we are the ones who will resuscitate it.
Right.
This past summer, we took everything that we learned in classrooms and set out into the world. We did it scared. Today, we will choose to do it again. Our courage comes from knowing that we do not walk this path alone, that we have and we must continue to lean on each other. With us are the people who shepherded us into this moment, the professors who pushed us. The classmates who edited next to us at 2 a.m. And the family and friends who believed in our work before our names ever appeared in our first published bylines. If I leave you with anything today, it's this: protect your why. The reason you chose journalism. Hold it like a compass and let it guide you, even in the face of fear. Do it scared. And when your fear feels too heavy to carry alone, just like it was for me that day in Armenia, staring into the forest around me, and uncertain of my next steps, remember that behind each of your bylines is a village, guiding you, protecting you. Congratulations, Newmark J School class of 2025.
What an honor and a privilege to be here with such an incredible group of graduates, to President Deitch, to the distinguished members of the faculty who are here, of course, to Sandra Wilkin, the Vice Chair, to your valedictorian, Andres, and your salutatorian, Stephen. Congratulations on this tremendous accomplishment. To the family members and parents and all of the loved ones, but certainly to the graduating class that is here today. Is KCC in the building right now? Is the graduating class of 2025 in the building right now? Are you ready to go out there and change the world? I'm so thankful to be back in Brooklyn, and I couldn't think of a better place to be than this graduation ceremony. We're so appreciative of the work and the journey that you have been on. You have worked hard. You have run your race. You have crossed the finish line and earned the honor of being a graduate here at Kingsborough Community College, one of the best community colleges in the United States of America. Your parents are proud of you. Your family is proud of you. Your school is proud of you. Your professors are proud of you. The community is proud of you. And I'm here today as a member of the United States Congress to make it clear that the country is proud of you as well. You've done a good thing. Now, from time to time, I've had the opportunity to be the keynote speaker at graduation ceremonies here in Brooklyn and New York City, across the state, and on occasion across the country. But I've learned, of course, that even as keynote speaker, I'm not the main event, you're the main event. And so I'm going to try and follow the advice that I was once given by a former Sunday school teacher of mine. I grew up in the Cornerstone Baptist Church, and she once said to me, "Jeffries, on the question of public speaking, be brief, be bright, and be gone." And so let me just briefly share with you a few quick words on the topic, when life knocks you down, don't give up, get up. When life knocks you down, don't give up, get up. You know, Winston Churchill, one of the great statesmen of the 20th century, he once made the observation that in life, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. At the end of the day, all that matters is the courage to continue. I put it a different way. A knockdown is different than a knockout. That's the Hakeem Jeffries remix, y'all. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. All that matters is the courage to continue. I've learned throughout my journey, a journey that took me from growing up in a working class neighborhood in Crown Heights to Midwood High School to Binghamton University, Binghamton to Georgetown, Georgetown back home to NYU Law School to the practice of law to the New York State Assembly, the New York State Assembly to the United States Congress. But throughout that journey, I've had moments of trials and tribulations, moments that I've been knocked down. Had to learn that lesson, that a knockdown is different than a knockout. You know, life is filled with ups and downs, with highs and lows. Graduates, with peaks and with valleys. I fly a lot between New York and Washington back home to New York, across the country, in my capacity as House Democratic leader, sometimes across the world. And I've realized that one of the reasons why so many folks don't like to fly is because when they get on that plane, they recognize that at some point along the way, they're likely to encounter turbulence. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Up in the air, 30,000 feet high, plane starts rocking back and forth, no place to go. It's at that moment when everybody on the plane gets religion. Folks start praying, Lord, just plant my feet on solid ground. What am I trying to say? In life, you can't get from your point of departure to your point of destination without at some moment along the way encountering turbulence. That's just one of the realities of life. Many of you have overcome turbulence. That's why you're sitting here right now as graduates of 2025. That turbulence, of course, will pop up from time to time as you continue your journey. And here's the thing, there are going to be some moments when that turbulence strikes. And you'll have your family, you'll have your friends, you'll have your besties, and that's a wonderful thing. But there'll also be some folks around you who are going to doubt your ability to make it through. A former vice president of the United States once called these kind of individuals nattering nabobs of negativism. They are persistent pessimists, notorious naysayers, cantankerous critics. In Brooklyn, we just call them haters. Folks who, whenever you're on the verge of a breakthrough, will doubt your ability to make it through. But when you hit those moments of turbulence, as you've already successfully navigated your way through, I want you to dismiss the doubters and keep marching towards your dream. Just dismiss those doubters and keep marching towards your dream. When life knocks you down, don't give up, get up. Dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, a once-in-a-century pandemic that altered life at its very core, yet you've overcome it in life. You're going to confront unexpected adversity. And when you find yourself in that moment, you've only got two options. You can either sink or you can swim. But because of your intellect, because of your preparation, because of the training that you've received, here at Kingsborough Community College, the resilience that you've already shown. I'm confident that whatever life throws at you, you're going to be able to make it to the other side. Graduates of this great community college, you are America, and America is you. It's amazing that you all come from more than 100 different countries here in America, a gorgeous mosaic of people from across the world, the best of what America represents. We are white, we are black, we are Latino, we are Asian, we are Native American, we are Christian, we are Jewish, we are Muslim, we are Hindu, we are religious, we are secular, we are gay, we are straight, we are women, we are men, we are citizens, we are dreamers. Out of many, we are one. That's what makes America a great country, and that's what makes this college and all of you incredible. Congratulations. God bless you. God bless the graduates. God bless the United States of America. When life knocks you down, don't give up. Get up.
What an honor it is to stand before you today, not just as your valedictorian, but as someone who has walked the same halls, faced the same challenges, and dreamt the same dreams as many of you sitting in this room. Because that is the spirit of Hostos. We are not just students, we are caregivers, workers, parents, survivors, and dreamers. We are the very same people who studied on the train, wrote essays between shifts, showed up for finals after dropping our kids off at school, and who flooded the graduation committee with emails just to get letters excusing us from work so we are able to celebrate all the hard work we've poured into this moment. When I returned to school, I thought I was just coming for a degree, something to validate the years of hard work that had no more room for growth. I thought I was here to prove a point, to keep kicking down doors that were never built with my name on them, to show my daughter that anything is possible, no matter your past, your age, or your path. All I planned to do was put one foot in front of the other, but step by step, that path led me here, to this stage, to this podium, to this very moment as your valedictorian. Like many of you, I started working young, at 14 years old. I've pushed through the systems that weren't designed for people like us. I was adopted within my family and raised by my grandmother, a woman who never spoke English, but whose love needed no translation. Mami, gracias por nunca rendirte, por llevarnos a la escuela todas las mañanas, y por estar presente en cada evento, aunque no lo entendieras todo. Tu presencia me dio todas las razones para seguir adelante. Your presence gave me every reason to keep going. After high school, I received a full scholarship to St. Leo University, but I wasn't ready yet, where I chose freedom over structure and left after the first semester. That decision didn't derail me, it revealed me. I got my own apartment, I found my faith, but most importantly, I was discovering who I was. When they said I couldn't, I did. When they said I wouldn't, I became. And when they said it would take 10+ years to become a physical therapist at almost 30 years old, I enrolled semester after semester at Hostos anyways. Like many of you, I started my own business. During the pandemic, I launched a tutoring service to support Spanish-speaking families transition to remote learning. And this year, I opened my very own daycare center just a few blocks from here on 152nd and St. Nicholas Place. A space built for parents like me, a space filled with structure, love, and security. A space that feels like community, because community is what raised me. Recently, I stood in a room filled with people I never imagined sharing a space with. It was a gala where success wore suits and legacy walked on polished floors. At first, I felt out of place. But then I heard honoree Sarah Angeles say, "It's with the little things you make a difference." Then honoree Benny Lorenzo followed up saying, "Align yourself with bosses who give you credit." Their words echoed something I've lived over and over. When I thought I couldn't, I did. So today, I give credit to ASAP and my advisor, Jomaira Peña, who from the moment I met, set me up for success and helped me finish strong. Thank you for equipping me with the tools to not just survive, but thrive. To my aunt who once pulled me off the softball team for getting a C, you taught me that discipline and drive go hand in hand. You demanded the best from me before I ever knew how to demand it of myself. To my partner, Manny, your patience, your strength, and quiet sacrifices made this dream possible. Thank you for holding us steady because I couldn't have done it without you. To my miracle, my daughter, Lumi, you are the reason I breathe deeper, dream bigger, and believe without limits. You are living proof that faith, science, and love can work together. To my village, Lo hicimos! This one is for all of us. To my friends at Hostos who became family, Breda and Jeanette, thank you. What started with me accidentally sitting in your seat the second week turned into check-ins, motivation, shared notes, advice, and all the test updates a woman can need. And to my classmates, yes, although I had many of those endless WhatsApp group chats on mute, I saw you, I felt you, and I couldn't have done it without your presence, your reminders, and your support. This moment is for every student who felt like giving up but didn't. For every person who carried more than just textbooks, who carried grief, anxiety, responsibility, and still kept showing up. It belongs to those who studied through exhaustion, who battled imposter syndrome, who questioned if they belonged and proved they did. Because success isn't about perfection, it's about perseverance. It's about pushing through again and again, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Hostos didn't just give us an education, it gave us proof. Proof that we are powerful, proof that we are capable, proof that we are unstoppable. So as we walk across this stage, remember that you are not walking alone. You are walking with every version of yourself that refused to give up. You are walking with the sacrifices of those who came before you and the dreams of those who will follow. Congratulations, class of 2025. We did it. And in the word of President Daisy Coco de Felipe's, mil gracias y bendiciones, mi gente.
I'm deeply, deeply honored to be a small part of the day that manifests dreams fulfilled. That's what you have done here today. Now, I know, graduates, that you have worked incredibly hard to make it to this day. You put in all your labor, all your efforts. But everyone here, from faculty to staff, friends, family, they are all so very proud of you. Mothers, fathers, mommies, papis, grandmas, grandpas, abuelos, abuelas, aunties, uncles, tios, tias, babas, yayas, daddies, nannies, amuabas, and amabas. Look at them. You can't see it because you're too young probably, but I I know that their hearts are bursting with pride at this moment. Bursting because this is a moment where dreams have been fulfilled and dreams have been manifested. Now, my hairdresser slash girlfriend, because in the Black community, our hairdressers are also our girlfriends, maybe in some other communities as well. She always talks about dreams. She says that they are magically unique, that no one can dream the exact same dream. And let's be clear, this dream, graduating from community college in America, is a tough dream. Community college graduation rates are considerably lower than those of four-year programs because community college students rather, are not born on third base with a silver spoon in their mouths. They tend not to be. Now, I will be honest, I was born with certain, advantages in life, but I do know a little bit about what it's like to have odds stacked against you. I have dyslexia, I have ADHD, I may not look like I'm 53, but been born in the 70s, I absolutely look like I'm 53. But those two things combined made growing, learning, and especially test taking really hard. Growing up as one of the only Black girls in a school for gifted children, but having learning disabilities in the 70s and 80s meant that my classmates and my teachers sometimes thought I wasn't smart and that I couldn't hack it. I believed that I couldn't hack it. For years, and I mean years, I was racked with self-doubt. But eventually I was able to see myself for who I was, an accomplished woman. I am tough, I am resourceful, I have grit, I'm steady under pressure, and I have enough successes and wins now that I was finally able to truly own how much talent and intelligence, how much unicorn magic was inside me all along. Now, I imagine that many of you have a similar story about how you beat the odds and in some way struggled to get to sit here in your caps, the bejeweled caps, the fancy sashes, and your gowns. Some story, some struggle. Maybe you returned to the classroom after some years in the workforce. Maybe you juggled going to school while becoming a parent. Maybe financial hardship or illness or death in the family meant that you had to take time off in between semesters. Maybe you were the first in your family to earn a degree. Maybe you migrated here from thousands of miles away. Maybe your family members can actually not be here with you to celebrate this win because they are under the threat of new federal immigration enforcement actions. Or, on a lighter note, maybe you just took the train really far from the Bronx. Can I get where's the BX out there? Come on, BX, I know you're here. I'm Manhattan, but I listen, I got love for all the boroughs. Whatever path took you here, whatever struggle you endured, you all share one thing in common. You persevered. You are battle-tested. You are adaptable. You are resourceful. You are a critical thinker. You are an achiever. You are a dream actualizer. You are a dream fulfiller. And I want you to own this win, this achievement, right here, right now, and forever. Now the mommy in me is coming out. Do you hear me? I want you to own this achievement right here, right now, and forever. Don't be like me. Don't ever minimize this achievement. You beat the odds. You are one of the ones who made it, who graduated from Guttman Community College. You are now, that's right, you are now in an elite club, a community college graduate. Again, these are tough odds to beat, and you did it. And while I'm on that point, there is something magical and special about community colleges. And that is that they embrace the non-linear path that defines life beyond the ivory tower. They make space for the unexpected things that interrupt or alter or shift our journeys as people and as students. Community colleges embrace the detours that actually enhance all of us and that positively shape who we become. Those detours, some of which others might label as failures, are what make us the great unicorns that each of us is. And they end up being the source of some of our greatest strengths. Community college graduates are uniquely positioned for today's world. Life these days, most often, is not linear. Gone are the days of the 40-year career with a company that is going to offer you a robust pension. You'll likely need to pivot. Your journey may be circuitous. It may zig, it may zag. It may have starts and stops. So being a Guttman College graduate is the best preparation for today's economy and today's world. You are prepared in ways that many others aren't. So now that you've gotten the best preparation, you have grit. You're adaptable. You're resourceful. You persevere. What's next? You are going to dream your next dream. You are dream fulfillers. You are dream achievers. You are dream manifestors. Back to my hairdresser, Maisha, hairdresser/girlfriend, Maisha. She says, you either create your own dream or get caught up in someone else's dream. You hear that? Either create your own dream or you get caught up in someone else's dream. So continue to dream your own magical dream that is uniquely yours. Dream big and dream on your own terms. Maybe you've earned your associate's degree in business and are headed to the Guttman Baruch Business Academy. I happened to be there for the launch of it. Yes! I was there for the announcement of the launch of it. Yes! Maybe your dream is to become an entrepreneur and you are already ready to take your place. I'm sorry, you are an entrepreneur and you already have what you need to launch your own small business. Somebody out there is doing to launch their business? Somebody give me some love. I see a hand back there, yes. Maybe you earned a certificate in cybersecurity and are ready to take your place in one of the most in-demand careers in the world. Dreaming your own dream, I would say, is not also limiting yourself to just one dream. The world is truly yours to conquer. Maybe you become that cybersecurity expert who launches their own business and becomes an entrepreneur and then decides to teach the subject. Maybe while you're teaching, you decide to pick up another dream, or you may realize that the world is missing something and you decide to invent it, or you decide to write novels and do that too. You can become the master, and I say the master, of many industries and many sectors. All of that is inside each one of you. You can do it all. You just have to keep dreaming and actualizing and manifesting. You fall down, you get back up. You fail, you learn and you try again. You take time off, you get back at it. That is what a lifetime of success looks like. And regardless of what your particular lifetime of success looks like, remember that you all stand on someone else's shoulders. We all stand on someone else's shoulders. You are all standing on the shoulders of your professors, your academic counselors, your family and friends who have come here to celebrate you and who are watching your celebration. You stand on the shoulders of your kindergarten teachers and your first bosses, on the shoulders of Stella and Charles Guttman, Charles being a child of immigrants whose formal education ended before he reached the age of 13, but who worked odd jobs to make his way to found this college. And just like you, they stood on the shoulders of others to achieve success. We all owe a part of our success to those who came before us. So yes, you worked hella hard to earn every bit of this, but don't forget that pathways and doors have been opened for you, and that it's your responsibility to do the same for the people who come behind you. So lift as you climb. Keep the door open for the next person. Give of your time. Share resources, share information, share contacts. Be a connector. Give your money to Guttman College. Hey, I thought I'd get some cheers from back here. Because Guttman needs you. New York City needs you. America needs you. Your country absolutely needs you. Immigrants, Black people, brown people, we are the folks who have always been the leaders of change in America. We grow the economy, we innovate, we invent. We are the ones who make this country culturally rich beyond measure. And most importantly, we lift our country closer to our founders' vision of a true democracy, one where everyone's merits are valued and everyone's most fantastical dreams can be manifested. And it's your dreams, the manifesting of your collective dreams, that will be our collective future New York, our future America. And I, for one, cannot wait to see the kind of fantastical future that you are in store, that you are going to create for us, that you are dreaming up for us. So congratulations, Guttman College graduates. I am so incredibly thrilled for you and cannot wait to see the future that you create for us. Thank you.
It's an honor to stand before you as the valedictorian of our graduating class. My name is Ngawang Tendrel Samdrup. I was born and raised in Bhutan, a small country in South Central Asia. I'd like to warmly welcome everyone in attendance and express my gratitude for being a part of this memorable occasion. The class of 2025 is filled with talented, hardworking, and passionate individuals. Any one of us would be worthy of standing as valedictorian. I'd like to take this moment to look back on our journey. 4 years ago, we began as freshmen, unsure of what the future would hold. Along the way, we faced the challenges of balancing classes, assignments, projects, quizzes, work responsibilities, and the pressure of finals. It wasn't easy, but we stayed strong, persevered, and made it through. One of my fondest memories was during my freshman year, when I found myself questioning if college was the right path for me. My freshman year was tough. I struggled a lot, lacked the confidence in my academic abilities and understanding of the coursework. By the end of that first semester, I failed my math statistics course and was placed on academic probation with a GPA of around 1.4. It was a hard moment to face, definitely humbling, but that experience pushed me to reflect, ask for help, and start taking small but consistent steps to turn things around. Failure has a way of teaching lessons that success can't. Setbacks are part of the process, not the end of it. What really matters is how we rise, adapt, and move forward. Looking back, I've come to realize that what makes our time at York College truly special isn't just the academic achievements. It's the challenges we overcame, the friendships we built along the way, the small victories we celebrated, and the professors who believed in us even when we didn't believe in ourselves. Most of all is the sense of belonging, the feeling that we were a part of something bigger that made this journey so meaningful. Now, I'd like to take a moment to thank a few people who have helped me reach this milestone. First and foremost, I am truly honored to have graduated from York College. Being a student here has been an incredible experience that I will always cherish. To my academic and ACE program advisor, Mrs. Simmons, thank you for your unwavering support. I know managing over 30 students, including me, isn't easy, but you have always made time. From sending countless emails to helping me plan my classes, your guidance has made a big difference in my journey. To my mentor, Professor Abu, thank you for always challenging me to go further. Your encouragement helped me earn a spot in the CUNY Immersive Research Program, which opened the door to many internship opportunities and helped me grow. To all the faculty and staff at York College, thank you for creating a learning environment that has helped me both academically and personally. You have made my time at York meaningful. And finally, I want to thank the most important person in my life, my mother. I wouldn't be who I am today. Oh, thank you. I wouldn't be who I am today without your love and strength. Your constant support and encouragement have always pushed me to do better. You have shown me what true dedication looks like, working hard, even on sick days, and always leading with kindness and compassion. Everything I've achieved is a reflection of your strength and sacrifice. Your example has guided me through some of my biggest challenges and shaped the person I am becoming. As I reflect on my journey, filled with its ups and downs, I know I'm not alone. Each of us carries a story of struggle, growth, and strength. And today, we celebrate not just crossing the finish line, but everything it took to get here. To my fellow graduates of the class of 2025, I'll end with this. Take risks, embrace failure, and above all, chase your dreams. Thank you.
Living with 5 children and 4 adults from the depths of the Caribbean is like trying to study in a circus. Entertaining, but hardly productive. As I dove into my rigorous graduate studies in literacy education, I often longed for a moment of quiet just to hear myself think. My refuge became 2 places: the beautiful Leonard Leaf Library here at Lehman College and my local bookstore. As a devoted book lover, I frequently rewarded myself after studying with a little stroll and the occasional splurge on a new book. One day, after reaching my limit with thesis work, if you know, you know, I indulged in that luxury and perused the shelves, hoping to find inspiration or motivation to keep me writing. To my surprise, what once sparked joy turned into a wave of irritation. I had a revelation. As a public school educator who has had the honor of serving in the Bronx for the past 6 years, I am deeply passionate about teaching the students of our community how to read and write. Frederick Douglass once said, "Once you learn to read, you will be forever free." And I wholeheartedly believe it. Financial independence, social mobility, and overall life comfort hinge on this essential skill. So, why was I fuming? It wasn't the grim reality that students of color often lag behind their peers in reading level. It wasn't even the constant battle to convince administration that teaching fundamental, research-based reading skills is important. What infuriated me was realizing that none of the authors in that bookstore had names like mine. And upon closer inspection, barely any had faces that looked like mine either. The people lining those shelves weren't the same as my students, and thanks to a norm system, the kids in my classroom may never see themselves reflected in those stories. In a time where some argue that qualifications are being watered down to ensure representation, it is important to highlight the truth behind this sentiment. As many of you, if not all of you, in this room may very well know, diverse individuals are not just qualified, but overqualified. For they have to work twice as hard to overcome barriers for entry that still keep them out. With no way in, how can diverse and qualified individuals emerge when they aren't even given a shot? How can we envision success when we don't see ourselves represented in the narratives of those who have come before us? How can I look my students in the eye and tell them that they are destined for greatness when the stories of those who achieved greatness are being erased, or even worse, never told at all? What started off as a casual walk in a bookstore made me realize the systematic inequalities in our societal institutions. I wanted to fight, but as I left what was once my place of refuge, I realized something that made my anger burn hotter. there was very little I could do by fighting alone. That feeling of hopelessness stayed with me until one day I took another casual study break stroll, except this time it was through the halls of our institution. At Lehman, I see myself. I see my students. I see equity and diversity thriving. I'm surrounded by professors who look like me, encouraging me not just to push myself forward, but to propel my students ahead. Armed with effective strategies and access to groundbreaking research, Lehman has become the vehicle I've learned to utilize for driving progress. Beyond personal encouragement, Lehman stands for something greater in this community. It is a constant reminder that I am not alone. We are not alone. We are Lehman. We embody change. Us standing here after making it this far prove that we are actively reshaping our society's unjust normalcies. We are breaking barriers. My fellow graduates, remember that we, the proud alumni of Lehman, are much more than scholars. We are hope wrapped in a degree. We represent the belief that one day, my 2-month-old daughter, my girl, will walk through that bookstore and see her story, her future, her endless potential reflected in every aisle. Thank you.